Hi everyone, it's Wendy Achatz. Hey, my husband Dave and I have owned Achatz Handmade Pie Company since we started the business in 1993, 27 years ago, out of our home. We've been through 9/11, we've been through 08 and the recession then, but we have never seen anything like what we're going through right now. We have laid off over 100 employees. We have 6 pie shops, 6 retail locations in the Metro Detroit area. We have a bakehouse in Chesterfield. You know, when this whole thing started, we tried to stay open. We tried to continue to produce pies, and we make a lot of chicken pot pies and things like that in our bakehouse. And we tried to stay open. With our 6 pie shops, it was really hard to keep that distancing, keep everything sanitized, all of the customer areas. So we had limited our hours in our 6 retail shops. We had done carry out only with our pies. And in our pie shops, we sell a lot of frozen soup, frozen savory pies as well. So being that we are a food manufacturing, we are considered essential, but we're not sure how essential pies are. You know, and I just felt people can probably do without pies for a while. My husband and I made the decision after a week of keeping that social distancing and trying to do everything we could with our sanitation practices. We just felt it was too difficult, and we didn't want to put our employees in danger and along with our customers. So we decided to close everything down. So we did that 2 weeks ago and laid everybody off at that point. We still have a few people coming into the bakehouse, finishing up purchase orders. We've got 3 guys there now that are doing maintenance and repairs. They're painting, they're doing some things that we couldn't normally do while we were open. So just having 3 people in that 20,000 square foot bakehouse, we're able to keep our distance. We've got a couple of people coming into the office once or twice a week to check on things there. But everyone is who's still on the payroll is working remotely for the most part. I'm curious, do you own a business? Are you part of a small business here in the country or in Michigan? And what are you guys doing? How do you guys feel about it? What I'm really concerned about right now is getting back to work. When will we be able to get back to work and bring back all of our 100+ employees? I don't feel we're in a safe spot right now, and it looks like it's going to be many more weeks. I still see a lot of businesses that are open that are not that essential, and I'm like, why are people going into Home Depot and the Tractor Supply Company, and and it just seems like there's still a lot of problems here with our country with people not being able to, or not taking enough initiative to practice the social distancing. So I think that's just going to stretch it out for a lot longer. One of the things that the government came up with for us small businesses, and if you're a small business, you know that the sector of small businesses in this country are the ones who pay the most in taxes. If you put all of the small businesses together and added up all of the employees and taxes that we pay, we'd be at the top. So if you've got, from 1 to 500 employees, you're considered a small to mid-sized business. I always think of the big mega businesses, the multi-billion-dollar businesses are the ones that are paying the most taxes, but they really feel that it's us small businesses all added up together that are really paying the most taxes, the highest percentage of tax, and employing the most people. So they want us to get back to work, and they don't want to see a recession, our government that is. So they're offering forgivable loans, free money. And our CFO, was in contact with us every day. Come on, start applying, start filling out the paperwork for the free money that the government's got for you. And, right away, I don't know if it would be for you, but man, for me, it was a red flag. What is this free money? Why are they pushing this money on us? Well, they want to keep the economy going. They don't want to see a recession. They don't want to see a depression, but how is printing money not going to throw us into a recession? One of the things that I did, and Dave and I are very slow to borrow money. And so when we were hearing people all around us, come on, go grab after that free money, get in line first, get that paperwork done with your bank first. It was just like, oh, come on, Saturday morning, you've got to get going and, call your administrative director back into the office and have her start filling out the paperwork, and you guys sign all these forms. Hurry, hurry before the money runs out. It was just a feeling of, the energy behind all that was just reminded me of all the hoarding and that's going on in the country. All the people that were bigger, faster, stronger to the grocery store got all of the toilet paper and hand sanitizer, and the weaker, slower people didn't get any. So they took it all, and there wasn't anything left. And that mentality is the same. And I just didn't want to be in that line. I don't have a fear of needing to hurry up, grab that money so that I can pay my landlords. And here's what I've done with my landlords, and I hope this helps you. We have 6 pie shop locations. 4 of them we pay rent on. 2 of them we own. So we had reached out to our landlords and we asked if they could, make a concession and waive our rent for the month of, we've been closed down half the month of March, and now here we are into April. So could you waive April's rent? And one of them said, yeah, I get it. We're all in this together. If my tenants don't win or don't profit, I won't win or profit, said our landlord in our Oxford location. So our landlord in our Oxford location was kind enough to charge us only half price. So we're paying half rent. So I said, we're not open. We have no sales coming in, not a dollar, and can you help us out? So yeah, they were kind enough to help us out there in Oxford. 2 of the other locations, our Beverly Hills and our Shelby locations, said, no, you still owe us the money. Go and grab some of that free money and pass it on, because you're going to continue to pay your rent. So I told my daughter, who is in charge of running our retail locations, I said, no, you'll write back, you will email or call and say, we are going into recession right now. And if we weren't going to ask you to waive an entire month's rent, we're going to ask you to lower that rent at least by half, because I don't know if we'll be able to open those shops back up again in 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. How long can we who are small businesses who are renting these little locations in these strip malls, I'm thinking of the hair salons and the small mom and pop restaurants and all of these small independent business owners, what's going to happen to them? Can they really go a month without bringing in income and continue to, pay insurance, pay the garbage dumpster, pay the, everything else that goes into running a business? I hope not, but I don't see if all of us small businesses open back up again. Say if we're closed for 8 weeks, I have customers that come in and buy 1 pie a week. So that's 8 pies that I am now behind in sales from that one customer. Now, will that customer come in, say June 1st, and buy 8 pies to make up for the loss of sales over, the last 8 weeks? I doubt that somebody's going to need 8 pies all at once. Same with the hair salons. Our hair salon that I go to, she shut down way before we were mandated here in the state of Michigan for all of the salons and hair shops and all of the gyms and studios and things to shut down. They shut down weeks before that to protect their employees and customers. And I was really thankful, that Red House did that. But are people going to go back in when she opens shop up again and get 8 haircuts all at once in 1 week? It's not going to happen. That money is gone. But you might say, hey, Wendy, what are you worried about? The government is going to forgive all of that money. I'm not trying to cast doubt but I just don't know if I trust that this is all going to work out. So if we go and borrow a couple $100,000 to pay all of our rent and our mortgages and everything like that, that just is at a standstill right now, the loophole for the government is if you don't have the same amount of employees back to work by June 2nd, we're not going to forgive that loan. So that's a real concern for me. Is life going to be the same come June 2nd? Are people even going to want to come back to work? I mean, I have employees right now that have said to me that they're making more money right now on unemployment than they were at work. So for instance, I have an employee that makes $900 a week. Unemployment checks here in Michigan, when she does finally receive one, which should be any day, any week now, because it's been 2 weeks, peak out at $363. So she's going to get a little over a third of her regular $900 paycheck at $363 a week. Now the government said that they're going to give an extra $600 on top of your unemployment check. So that's going to bring her up to $963. She's pretty geeked about that, pretty exciting. Plus, I think they're going to give everybody a $1,200 check too, just for extra fun. So that's going to be nice, but hopefully I hope she won't go out and spend all that extra money, because we don't want her to go out shopping, you know, and a lot of things are closed down anyway. But what are you going to do with all your extra money? You know, so she said, hey, when you start calling people back to work, please let me be last in line, because she's making more money right now on unemployment, and she's enjoying being at home. Many of us are quarantined at home. You know, I'm not having a whole lot of fun. I'm kind of like in a homeostasis. I'm kind of waiting around. I'm not really getting a whole lot of gardening done and cleanup and organization here in my house that I thought I would, just because my mind is kind of like, you know, probably like yours. I'm in a different state of energy. It just feels so weird. Most of us would be jumping for joy. It's been 2 weeks, a staycation at home for 2 weeks, so we ought to feel pretty good. But we do have a lot of concerns right now, and the government, who's going to give us all the free money, forgivable loans. I just don't like taking money from the government because it's tax-funded money. I hated that they did the bailouts back in '08, the tax-funded bailouts for the banks. I thought that was a real scam. And so I kind of, you know, as an American, I look to my government just kind of questioning if they're doing the right thing. It's hard for them to make the right decision all the time, and this came really fast, and they had to make fast decisions, and I don't know if they really thought it through very well, and they probably didn't have time to think it all the way through. So what are your thoughts here on this free money that the government's giving out, this forgivable loan money? Like I said, there's that loophole. So anyway, I want to hear what you have to say. Are you a small business owner here in the country? Do you work for a small business? Do you feel that business is going to still be up and running and back to, you know, full throttle and thriving once the quarantine is lifted and people can go back out safely and open their businesses? Certainly if the quarantine is lifted, and Dave and I don't feel it's safe to bring all of our employees back full throttle, we will not do that. We are not going to jeopardize the health and safety of our children who work in the business, of our friends and our family who work in our business. We have about 115 people right now, so we're not going to do that until we feel safe. And I don't know, I'm listening to what the government's saying, what the CDC is saying, but I'm going to be very cautious about bringing people back for our own health and safety. So I'm thinking it's going to be a different world. The home delivery service, I think, is going to be huge already. Amazon has already been tapping into that for years, guys, and a lot of us have been kind of slow to follow. And I think now this pandemic has really forced us to take a new look of how business could run. My 6 pie shops, will I open them all back up? Probably. But if you said to me, you know, Wendy, you could have a better business, a healthier business for not only you and your employees and the environment and your customers by doing home deliveries, I would love to switch my business over to home deliveries. I don't know how it would work around Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's our busiest time of the year, as you can imagine. I really like this idea, and we have been working on the home delivery on a system here, and it's just about up and running. I think we could flip the switch and start it right now. We've got our little Shopify page loaded up and ready to turn the switch on. We haven't brought back people into the bakehouse to bake the pies because we just don't feel it's safe. But once we feel it's safe, I think we're going to give that a shot. I think we're going to give that a try. What would you pay to have a box of pies dropped off and on your front porch? You know, we've got our cream pies and our fruit pies. And we have all of our frozen meat pies, chicken pot pies and beef and lobster and our spinach, and even some other savory items like our quiche and our frozen soups. So that could be a nice little basket on your front porch, you know, on a weekly basis. What would you pay for somebody to come and deliver that to your front door? Even if you weren't home being quarantined, wouldn't you like that service anyway? We're thinking about doing that anyway. And then, look at all of these ugly strip malls that are across our country. I always think of George Carlin's skit where he talks about these ugly strip malls just plastered across this beautiful country, these terrible, ugly things, you know. What would happen to them? Would just bushes and shrubs and ivy grow up and cover them all, and they would be disintegrated and gone, and, you know, then the wildlife would come back. You know, anyway, I'm just dreaming, but man, if I didn't have to drive into a strip mall to get what I needed and just have it delivered at home, that might be a really beautiful thing. Get more, you know, cars off the road, you know, not have to worry about being out there fighting traffic, especially on Hall Road or Telegraph and Woodward, some of these populated roads that are so busy and so full of, you know, bumper to bumper traffic so many of the days. All right, you guys, I'm going to sign off for now, and I would love to hear what you have to say in the comments below, what your ideas would be for bringing the economy back to what we think it should be. I want to know from you, do you feel like you want to go back to work? You've had some time off to kind of rethink your life. Do you want to go back to that factory job? Do you want to go back to that, you know, cubicle job where you're sitting behind a computer all day? Or have you found that you could actually work from home? You know, can the world and can life still move forward with you staying at home, working from home, and not having to get out and drive in that 9-to-5 rat race? All right, you guys, I'd love to hear what you have to say. Appreciate you watching this week again, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.